Hello and welcome to Ferris Sports Update. I'm your host, Rob Bentley, and thanks for tuning in. On today's final show of the fall semester, we'll talk Bulldog Soccer. We'll also check in with the Ferris State men's and women's basketball teams as they get set to open their season here over the next month or so. We'll start first, though, with Bulldog Soccer, and joined by head coach Greg Henson. Coach, welcome to the show.
Great, thanks to be here.
I know, obviously, your team just got through the fall training session. It's a little different not having games this fall, but fortunately your team was able to get out and get some practice time in.
Yeah, it was great to finally be back on the field with the players and give them an opportunity to compete, in practice and in training. And we kind of tried to cap things off with giving them something to look forward to. So we did an inter-squad scrimmage on Saturday and tried to make that as much game-like as possible as you can and within a practice setting. But I think they really enjoyed the opportunity. It was great for us to be back on the game field playing.
What did you see out of your team in that scrimmage? Obviously, you had a chance to play a couple different formats as the afternoon went on.
Yeah, we played a 70-minute game, just kind of divided the teams up evenly, and then at the end, the last 20 minutes, made it the young dogs versus the veterans, and let the freshmen and sophomores battle out against the juniors and seniors, and really just see them back in a natural, game-like setting. I think was good for some of those players. It's been over a year since they've played in an environment like that, and really giving the freshmen and the newcomers just their first taste of what college soccer is going to be like when they get the opportunity to compete this spring. So just like the intensity, the effort that they put forward, and we banged home a few goals on each side of it, and some really nice goals as well. So that was good also to see.
Some of those goals came from some of your more experienced players, some of the veterans that were back on the field, and fortunately kind of led the way there early on in the second half.
Yeah, Kinsey Dawes got in behind and made a nice finish, and Gracie scored one. Might have been controversial offsides call from the referee, but she got one back, hit a bomb from about 35 yards out, upper 90, and it was a great finish from her. And Peyton Price knocked in a couple off of corners and finished there, and Abigail Gilmore had a nice goal herself. So, all in all, the veterans really stepped up in those areas, and that's what we're going to be looking for and counting on come spring.
What did you see out of your team, maybe in the preparations leading up to that final scrimmage, and what were you able to get accomplished this fall? From the beginning and kind of going through the phase play, return to play protocols that Ferris put in place for us, really it was individually and kind of technical driven, and I really thought we saw some key improvements in certain areas that we set for ourselves. I set some goals for the team in areas that I wanted to see overall improvement in, and we really did, from just little simple things, but we did see improvement in those areas, and in the game itself. We spent about a week kind of just throwing everything at them, in terms of our playbook and how we play and things of that nature, and really made it last week's preparation like a normal week in the season would be. And they reacted really well to it, and they took it in, and we did a lot of, did some classroom work as well, and I think it puts us in a good spot to build from here. When we come back in the winter to get ready for the spring season. We have a great foundation right now in place. I think the freshmen, the incoming class, kind of knows who we are, what we're about, and what we're striving to do on the field. And now we can really kind of focus in more game-like tactic side of things when we have games in front of us. Obviously, the GLIAC announced this past week that the return to competition was set for the spring semester for soccer, and that schedule will be announced very shortly, starting in mid-March and running through April.
Yeah, our first game will be March 19th. I think we'll be on the road for that, and then we'll have like a 4-game homestand after that, and then finish up against Northwood, who's our travel partner at the end of the season. So it's a 9-game round robin for women's soccer. And top 8 teams make the conference tournament, and then we'll have a tournament at the end of it as well. So 3-game, single elimination tournament at the end. So there's 2 titles up for grabs, 2 trophies on the line, and so we want to go out and compete and put ourselves in a position to contend for both of those titles in the spring.
And certainly that spring season is going to go a long way towards your preparation for next fall as well.
Yeah, really, this whole year, this whole academic year, really becomes a preparation for the fall 2021 season, and it's really just kind of a long time, a long period, I guess, a long preseason, if you will. But like I told the players, and one of the things that we're focusing on, there's two titles up for grabs, and so those are two things that our program hasn't won yet. We haven't won a conference championship, with the regular season or tournament. So those are two huge things that we want to check off our to-do list. So we're going to prepare ourselves to go out and play at a championship level in the spring, and then obviously if we do that, it's going to really carry over to the fall and give us an opportunity to do that again.
Obviously, we talked going into that scrimmage, the program right now in excellent shape and coming off the two best seasons in Bulldog history.
Yeah, so it's just a matter of keeping that momentum going, and we had a good group coming in. We're really happy to see kind of where we are with our freshman class this year. We've got a good class. National Signing Day just passed as well. We've got 6 players that we signed in that class, and a couple key walk-ons coming in with that class as well. So really, it's going to be 8 players that we'll have joining us, and I think they're just going to be able to come in and make an impact right away, and just help us continue to carry on that tradition that we've started of late of championship level play.
You mentioned that signing class. How does that impact your roster management here, having a couple freshman classes that'll be freshmen in eligibility again next fall?
Yeah, it's crazy as how it impacts it, and with the waiver that went through, and not only do we have those 2 freshman classes that haven't played a college game, potentially until then, but we've got a number of seniors that are going to opt to use that extra year, or that waiver year, and come back next fall. So I think right now we got individual meetings this week, so we'll find out a little bit more details of what everybody's doing and what everybody's planning on. But as it sits right now, I think we got 5 or 6 that'll be returning as seniors. So we'll have 5 or 6 fifth-year seniors next year, along with about 17 freshmen and sophomores that are still waiting to get their first crack. So it's going to be an interesting roster. We got a lot of youth, but we'll have a lot of veteran leadership as well. So I think it's going to be a great mix for us.
Speaking of that veteran leadership, how important has that leadership been from some of those older players, those experienced players going through this transition here in the fall?
It's been good. I mean, it's nice having a veteran team that kind of understands, what's going on, and within the program, I should say. Nobody really knows what's going on, and dealing with this new reality within the COVID era that we're going through. So, I think overall, and we kind of touched on this with the radio conversation last week. Like, everybody's dealing with this for the first time, and so we're all dealing with it. I've never coached a team through a global pandemic, and the players have never experienced it. And I tell them, hey, your professors have never dealt with it either. So we all got to just kind of go through it together as we get through the process. But having the veterans there and a large group of them has been great. They're a little bit more patient sometimes than the younger players, and trying to figure out what's going to happen next, and doing that. Weather obviously was a factor this morning. We had to change our practice location last minute and be able to get practice in today. So the veterans kind of just know how to roll with the punches, and that's huge. So.
Well, Coach, thanks for being with us here today, and congratulations on a great fall practice season, and looking forward to next spring.
Yeah, can't wait.
We'll be back with more Ferris Sports Update right after this.